Welcome back here. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I want to welcome Scott to the show here. Scott from HooptyDo Graphics. And the reason I invited you here, there's a new law that's coming into effect. I don't know when it goes into play. You probably know more than I do about it because you keep up with politics pretty good. But they've decided that you got all these commercial vehicles running around here, and none of them really registered as far as telling you what they are and the proper license and all. And they're going to start enforcing, being sure the license codes on the vans, and which is good, bad, what?
Depends on which side of the table you're on. Actually, because of being in the sign business, this law has come to realize it's been out there for contracts for the last 3 years. It was an amendment onto Code 6 for Newcastle County Code. So what it actually does is it details, actually I brought a copy of it for you today. It details exactly what is to take place on the vehicles of anybody that has a commercial license in Newcastle County. A few years back, Newcastle County changed its rules and regulations for its contractors and now has a much larger fee in order to be a contractor in Newcastle County.
Well, that's what my thought is, with the economy hurting the way it is, and everybody just, a lot of people out there trying to start new businesses because, they lost their job. Let me go do this, and all this is just another way of putting more money into government, I guess, by making,
It certainly appears to me that it's putting a lot of money into the government, and it has a lot of control with it. Their argument on the other side is that they're trying to help the local community. However, that's an interpretation for the politicians to have.
Well, now you got to go out here, because a lot of people do, starting out, it's tough to get started and everything else, and they now they got to expend that much more, because I guess if they're going to use a vehicle for any commercial purposes, and
well, see, that's one of the things I found most interesting about it. One of the interesting things is this was an amendment that was put into the law 3 years ago, back whenever they made the major changes, and they've got a lot more regulation whenever it comes to the contractors in Newcastle County, and they've regulated it for any activity, even if you have a power wash and you're cleaning the side of a building off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just that small guy that's picking up a couple extra bucks or trying to feed his family, now he's got to worry about a big fine if he's pulling that. Yeah.
In order to make it easy on the inspectors that are going out to the job sites, if they see a vehicle sitting there and there's somebody running a power washer, they want to be able to look at the vehicle and type in the license code and the contractor code for that person. If they do not have it posted on their vehicle according to the spec that they laid out in the law, which is very specific, then I was curious what the penalty would be. So we made a phone call over there to the county to ask them specifically what is the penalty involved if you do not have this on your vehicle. The penalty is $1,000 and/or suspension of your license for 3 years. Now, that's not your driver's license, but that's your Newcastle County license. Now, if you're a contractor in Newcastle County,
you can't work without that
license.
That
applies to anybody inside this county that is not specifically working inside of one of the cities.
Now, they're going to start, I know that because I've heard that's what concerned me, they're going to start enforcing this pretty quick.
What's happened is, it appears to me, my own interpretation, that the government seems to be getting real hungry for money because they don't seem to be managing as well as I think they should. But because they're hungry for money, this is a way for a quick $1,000 if one of the inspectors rolls up and your vehicle isn't licensed, and he's got a big stick over your head with that 3 years. So it appears as though that this is one of the avenues they might be going towards. Now, of course, I'm not aware of anybody that's actually been charged with this yet. But it's one of those things, it's one of those murmurs you're hearing in the wind. And in my business, where we do the lettering and we put this on the vehicles, we've caught wind of this, and therefore we're trying to...
Well, I keep seeing government getting more and more involved with everything and putting more and more restrictions on all this and all that, for good old Americans to make a living. I mean, for the last 200 years, we've been out here, now and trying to follow, but they just keep putting so many rules to it. It kind of puts you in a position, if you're a small business or want to be a small business, it's getting tougher and tougher for you to become, because now you got to go pay this fee, you got to go pay that fee.
Well, let me just throw this in. So if you get a couple letters, a couple numbers for your license thing, either he can do it or you can go buy the stencils at a place and you put it on. So that's cool. So you're not going to get a fine. You spent $12. You know your license. You know you're insured. It's like for me as a homeowner, I want somebody to come out that's professional. I want to know that I have recourse.
That's one of the things that I want to get to. Then you got that guy out there that he's not a...
There's a lot of scams out there.
Yeah,
See, I run into two arguments on this equation. I've got contractors coming to me with two different concerns. In one case, whenever we're lettering out a vehicle and we're doing all the graphics for them. We're putting the logo on the doors and the whole works so that it makes a real strong presentation that they are a contract and these are the services they provide and they're legitimate. Some of those contractors are asking me to put these numbers in a form such as on a magnet so that they only have to have them on when they're in the jobs in Newcastle County. There has been problems in the past and contractors are concerned because you can take the license numbers off, and it's been done where they'll take the license numbers off and then other scabs that the other people you're talking about.
Oh, wow.
They'll slap those licenses on their vehicles, and then they'll go play the game, trying to put them off as being someone else. So contractors a little concerned about putting out all that personal information.
Well, that's why I said it, because it invades you and puts you out there to
I never
anybody.
thought of that.
Yeah, well, now you got rip-offs that can rip you off even better because you think.
So I was thinking it would save me, not to mention I don't have my property tax go up.
But my main thing is, and the reason I wanted to bring it on here, because you do fantastic work, and you're a good man, you're a good, family man, good in the community and everything else. And when it comes to lettering and stuff, these people got to get it done. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. You got to have your vehicle done right.
That's what the law says now.
You happened to venture off into this a few years ago and and opened up a place called HooptyDo.
That's right.
You're now down on the DuPont Highway, Route 13, right at the split.
Right down there at the split on the 40 side.
And I just wanted contractors to know where they can go and get this done at an affordable cost, because you got a lot of people out there, and that's the main thing. You're there, and if anybody can help you and work with you if you're trying to do it, Scott, you can. Real quick, a website they can go to.
They can go to HooptyDo.com.
HooptyDo.com. And Scott,
we're still working a little bit on the website, but pretty soon we'll have it all set up for the new address and everything in place.
You're always working on it. You'll be working on it until the day they put you in the ground. You'll be,
because
the casket's not quite labeled up
I'm
right.
going to wrap it.
Yeah, but if you're looking for signage and everything, definitely check out Scott.
You probably will, won't you? Wrap your casket before.
Scott, thank you for coming on, and always be sure and wear your suspenders, Scott.
Actually, I brought those for you. I'm just trying to help you raise your level of style there.
I'm thinking of running politics. The more I think about it, and then I've been looking for that thing that says this is what I should do. And you might have just delivered that message.
I'm trying to help nudge you along that direction.
It might be time for me to throw my hat into the ringer out there.
We put a pair of suspenders on you, and it's going to work out just fine.
At least we can go to Washington and find out what they're doing. Anyways, Brittany, tell them we got to take a break. We got the girls coming up the relay. Thank you for closing the shop and running over here and talking about that.
My pleasure.
If you need, once again, stickers for anything,
HooptyDo.com.
Anyways, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the relay team will start right here. We'll be right back right after this.
Thank you.